Okay guys, hey, how are you? Welcome in. We're at a project that we just finished here in Kirkland, Washington. And I want to take you in, have you meet the homeowner for a minute, talk to her a little bit about her experience and how the whole thing went. We actually did 2 projects for them and give you guys a quick tour of all the work that we did, the changes that we made in this house, somewhat significant in a few areas, and just updates and refreshes in some others. So it's a nice combo project for you to be able to get a little bit of a flavor of significant changes and just a little bit of tune up here and there. So come on in, I'm excited to show you. So welcome in to the home of Kathleen and Rick. We did a couple of different projects for them. We had the first project we did was upstairs, relatively significant transformation up there in that we stuck in a bathroom where there wasn't one. So that took some redesign and moving things around, and then updated 2 other bathrooms. And then downstairs we did a kitchen and kind of opened that space up with a big update in the main living area. So really excited to show you that one. And Sasha is as well. Sasha loves it. So the real transformation starts right here in this area. We didn't do a lot back that way in the entryway, but right here in this powder room is one of the keynote portions of this project. Our homeowner is a geologist, so very interested in the natural world. And this is a stone that she picked out and really loves, and it's backlit. So there's a light or lighting below this top, and it's on right now. And so you see the light coming through this natural stone. I think it's gorgeous. I think pretty much anybody who sees it thinks it's gorgeous. So a fabulous feature in this project. Now, taking you into the area that we did the most work on the main floor is in the kitchen and kind of the living space.
With regard to the kitchen, I had some real problem areas. So we started out in the design phase with Craig, who was wonderful. I didn't really give him a lot of detailed information about what I wanted, just basically where I wanted the garbage, but he put it all together, and actually it flows beautifully. We had a pantry over here.
Okay.
And we took the pantry out.
A closet pantry?
A closet pantry.
Okay.
And taking that out just expanded the kitchen so much, just in the footprint and visually. And then we put the refrigerator here. It had been over here.
Right, so the fridge was here, the cooktop was on the island.
Cooktop was on the island.
Right.
Now that I have a full island to do my prep work on, makes such a difference.
Right, I'm a big fan, and there's a lot of homes in our area, certainly as you know, that have the cooktop on the island. And a lot of people are like, oh, I love my cooktop on the island. I'm like, no, get it off the island, move it to the perimeter, makes your island significantly more functional, makes this a little bit better work, easier to vent this with a hood, and then opens up over to this side to be able to tuck some of the really tall stuff.
I have a regular pantry for, cereals and all that. And then I have a baking pantry that's over here, and this is perfect for all, get all that unsightly cooking stuff out of there.
There's an art to not only the styling of a kitchen in terms of picking out the finishes, the colors, the hardware, the tile, and those kind of things. But really underneath that is the functionality of the kitchen, is how well does it lay out? Because you can walk into a kitchen that looks stunning, but if you actually try to cook and work in that kitchen, find that it is very poorly laid out, is very hard to work in. So what we're trying to do at Armada is marry that high level function and usability with a high style that meets your needs and your taste and what you want. And not everybody's got the same taste. That's why they make all different kinds of cabinets, and there's a lot of different choices for countertop materials. But the functionality piece never changes. So we always want that to be first the layout and the function piece of how it works for you. And then after we get it working right, then you can style it or dress it, as I like to call it, any way you want. So I want to talk quickly a little bit about this cooktop. This is induction, which is different than regular electric heat or gas. You have to have pans that a magnet will stick to. You can't use aluminum or copper here. It won't get hot at all. One of the big benefits is that this surface doesn't get hot. It just gets the pan hot, which then gets the stuff hot inside of it. So Kathleen, tell us a little bit about switching from gas to induction.
Oh, I'm a complete convert. I had gas for all my life.
Right.
And for one thing, I'm an environmental scientist, so having all that methane was definitely a no-no now.
Right.
But induction's so fast.
Yeah.
You can boil water almost instantly, and it's easy to clean.
With a gas cooktop, oftentimes, and you may find this the same too, Kathleen, is that you would cook by sight, like how much flame there is, you know, kind of like how you would regulate the temperature in the pan. And you don't get that now. You got to use a number. You got to know what a 7 means or an 8, or at least on mine, it's by number.
But I can never turn my gas down enough so that I could just simmer. This is so much easier. Your folks were very on top of things. They walled off the upstairs when they were working downstairs. So there was plastic there, so the upstairs didn't get dusty.
Right.
What I appreciate the most about, just in general, about working with Armada is you guys would come through with some very solid recommendations, and I knew to trust you at that point. So that was important.
And like we've talked about, not only do the people that work directly for Armada that we're trying to build an all-star team there, but also the separate companies that we use, the flooring companies and the drywall guys and the roofers and the heating and cooling and electricians, that all of those guys are the tops in their area as well. And we can't be the expert for everything, but we know the experts. And so then we use them and we rely on their expertise and recommendations because that's what they do and talk about every day. And this floor was refinished, correct?
Yes, the floor is the original floor.
Yeah, so original flooring, but sanded, refinished with a new color. It is the classic 2 1/4 by 3/4 American red oak that is in so many homes built in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s that a lot of people are kind of tired of oak. But here's a way that you can change the look substantially by just changing the color without going to the expense of putting in all new floor. The flooring's a tough one when we're doing field finish floor, and you are, in my opinion, you did the right thing to get that 3rd coat. It's optional, you really always do too. We highly recommend that 3rd coat of sealer and topper on there, particularly when there's high traffic and pets, because it just makes that floor so much more durable. But you're right, the downside, it costs a little bit more for that 2nd coat because those products are sorry, for the 3rd coat, because those products aren't inexpensive. But in the immediate application, that it's a few more days that you got to work through it because the prior coat's got to dry, got to be hard, then you got to prep it, then you put the 3rd coat on, and then you got to let that harden. I want to talk about one of the cooler features in this entire project is this combination sort of Butler's Pantry, hunt board, storage area, working space that starts over here in the kitchen and comes and wraps around and then kind of converts itself a little bit into a wet bar, where there were no cabinets here before, but when we took this wall and the post out over here, that opened this space up substantially, which then allowed this to come around and not feel like we were overly constricting this space. Obviously, if you're from Seattle, you know about coffee. It's raining out, we drink coffee all the time. And so this little feature right here with these flipper doors has got the coffee station tucked away when you don't want to see it, but then when you need it, which is every 30 or 40 minutes, right, Rick? When you have to stop by for a refill. There it is right here, ready to go, convenient, but yet tidy and organized. And then when you want to close it off and you don't want to look at it, boom, you can.
I'm a geologist.
So she's our geologist, so she likes the stone, was very particular on picking that out, and obviously did a fabulous job. And I bet she would help you pick out your stone if you wanted some for your kitchen. She might even do it for a corned beef sandwich.
It's all quartzite, by the way.
Okay, all quartzite is what we picture. That's what I
Natural
thought
stone.
you had landed on.
Yep.
But it's gorgeous, out of the bargain bin for quartzite countertops, but you're only gonna do it one time. And as a lot of people do, she splurged for the countertop on the island and then went with a little bit lower cost material at the perimeter, as we refer to it. And we make the island the showpiece and the thing that's the eye catcher and where we want everyone to draw their attention to, which we did and enhanced it with the lights. But then at the perimeter, something a little more subdued, typically a little bit lower cost, because the countertop at the perimeter typically is interacting with the backsplash. And so we don't want these two to clash. So the countertop at the perimeter tends to be a little bit more muted, and then we let the backsplash shine here. The task lighting for the workspace and is an architectural accent to both enhance the backsplash and the countertop. So sort of multi-purpose there. Kathleen, being the geologist, knows significantly more about this than I do, so I'm just kind of repeating what she has said. But this top is fully backlit, but what she says is that where you see the lights popping through are the areas of this stone, which is an amalgam, right? It's a mix of materials here. It's not all quartz, but where you do see the light popping through is really the highest concentration of quartz, which allows the light to come through, where the one in the bathroom is almost all quartz. And then this has got other stuff, right? That's in there with it that doesn't allow the light to come through. Yeah, this is something that you can have. You can do this. You don't have to be a geologist to select this as an option. We've got it figured out. We know how to do it. We have a really cool sample like it at our office where we've got a vertical application with the panel that's backlit. If this is something that's intriguing to you, that you really like, or something similar to this, don't hesitate, give us a call. You can work with one of the designers, Craig, like Kathleen worked with, and we can help you come up with something that's truly unique and speaks to your style that will separate your kitchen from all the others on the block. One thing that everyone wants to know is, would you recommend Armada to family or friends or work people, church people, that you interact with?
Absolutely.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
And you have.
And I have.
Right, perfect.
Yeah.
And been kind enough to let us bring some people through and take a look at their house on occasion. We don't want to have a parade here, but we have done that. And then one really cool thing that we did was, after the project was done, we hosted an open house here for Kathleen and a lot of her friends and family, just to welcome them in and come on in and see the space, and sort of like having a baby, let's go look at the little baby, but the baby was the house in this instance. Thank you very much for opening your home to us today and to past clients and when we had the party. So we really appreciate it. And I guess the next thing, Rick, right? The living room and dining room.